Hello everyone, I hope everyone is fine. Today I'm going to narrate a story, and this story is adapted from Rosa Parks' biography. And the title of the story is Rosa Parks Sat Still. So, before moving on to the story, we can look who is Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was born on February 4, 1913, in Tuskegee, Alabama. Rosa Parks was an African American civil rights activist whom the United States Congress called the First Lady of Civil Rights and the Mother of the Freedom Movement. The story is about an incident happened in Rosa Parks' life as she was asked to move to the back of the bus for the white passengers. But she refused and was arrested for violating segregation laws. And now we can move on to the story. On December 1, 1955, Rosa Parks refused to move, and this transformed a million lives. Rosa Parks had been working all day. Work had been heavier than usual. At the end of the day, there was only one thought in her mind. She wanted to sit down, but it was getting late and everybody was going home. Rosa walked to the bus stop and got on a bus. There were many vacant seats. She paid her fare and sat down in the nearest seat. The bus was nearly empty. Rosa felt grateful. Her feet were very tired. They really needed a rest. That was, however, something only Rosa knew. The driver of the bus knew nothing about her feet. He did not even know her name, but he saw that she was not white. She was a black passenger, and that, he thought, was all he needed to know about her. But he was making a mistake. It was a mistake that cost his company a lot of money. Our story begins in America, in a town called Montgomery. Rosa was an ordinary woman with a job in a dressmaker's shop. The day was an ordinary working day. It was the first day of December in the year 1955. Rosa had a loving family. She envied nobody. Her manners were mild. She spoke in a quiet, soft voice. She always obeyed the laws of the country and broke no rules. But in those days, not all laws and rules were fair. That day, when Rosa sat in that seat on that bus, she had not thought of breaking any rule. It happened before the bus started. When the warning bell rang, passengers rushed in. Many of them were white Americans. Each time a white passenger climbed into the bus, a black passenger got up from a seat and moved away. The rule was simple and clear. Black passengers had to give up their seats when white passengers came in. They had to get off the bus and go round to the back door. They could then get on the bus again as standing passenger. That day, all the sitting black passengers gave up their seats except Rosa. She did not seem to notice what was happening. A white passenger stood at the door and looked at her. Still, she did not move. She sat still. It was time for the bus to leave, but how could the driver start? A white passenger was standing at the door and a black passenger was not getting up. Other passengers grew impatient. They gave her angry looks. They muttered curses at her. Rosa neither spoke nor stirred. She sat still. She was thinking, why should I get up? I have paid the same as the white passenger has paid. My ticket is not a cent cheaper than his, and I am more tired than he is. And he is neither old or disabled. So why should I give up my seat? He is asking for this seat because he is a white. That can't be right. That moment, Rosa made a decision. This rule is unfair, and rules ought to be fair. If a rule is unfair, it ought to go. It ought not to be in the rule book. Therefore, it ought not to be obeyed. If people go on obeying such a bad rule, it will stay in the book forever. So someone should do something about someday. I think that day has arrived. Now, when Rosa did not get up, the driver got angry. If he let her sit and left a white passenger standing, he was breaking the law. He and his company could be punished for it. He got up from his seat. "Get up and go to the back seat," he ordered. But Rosa sat still. "I told you to get up," he said. But Rosa did not move. She did not get up. The driver got off the bus and brought the police in. They arrested Rosa, said she had broken the law, and sent her to jail. The news of Rosa's arrest soon spread all over the town. The black people of Montgomery decided to fight for her to come out of jail. They knew they could not fight with the police. They decided to fight with the bus company instead. They boycotted the buses. This means they stopped using them. "No black passenger," they said, "will use the city buses until Rosa is free." Instead, they went to work in private cars and shared the cost of taxis. The Montgomery bus boycott went on this way for more than a year. It lasted exactly 381 days. During the boycott, the bus company lost millions of dollars. This was because there were many more black bus users than white users. Without using black passengers, buses ran almost empty. Meanwhile, Rosa Parks was tried in a court of law. The judge ordered her to pay a fine. He said she had broken the law of segregation. Rosa's lawyer advised her not to pay the fine, and she took their advice. Then they went to the higher courts and finally to the highest court, the American Supreme Court. The judges of the Supreme Court said that segregation was unlawful in public transport services. They said it was against the law of the country. So it was that Rosa Parks sat still and moved a million miles. She began the black American people's fight for fairness and justice to all human beings. Americans called her the mother of the black civil rights movement. Civil rights are the rights of a country's citizen. Many years before Rosa Parks sat still in that bus, something else has happened in another country. A man called Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi sat still in a train in South Africa. He refused to get off. The white passengers threw him out. There are many other stories of his courage and of the courage others got from him to fight for their rights. I hope you all understood the story. Now it's question time. Take a notebook and a pen. Now try to answer the questions, and if you have any doubts, go back and hear the story once again and then try to answer the question. The first question: who was the only black passenger in the bus? Second, where were Rosa Parks working? Third, from where did Rosa Parks entered the bus? Fourth, what happened when the bus was about to start? Fifth, why was Rosa arrested? Sixth, why did the black people decide to fight with the bus company? Seventh, how did the black passengers support the boycott? I hope you could answer all the questions. If there is any doubts, please hear the story once again. Thank you.